issue. The issue is it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who...
I saw it posted yesterday all over our social media pages. Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
It's hard to believe, but one of the most powerful figures in the music industry, Sean Diddy Combs, is now facing the fight of his life. And the story keeps getting crazier by the day, from hosting some of the most exclusive parties in Hollywood to now being on self-harm watch in one of New York's most notorious mostly detention centers. It's a shocking turn of events that has left fans and industry insiders stunned. But here's the question, did we all see this coming?
Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in.
For years, whispers have been circulating about Diddy's dark side. Sure, on the surface, he's this larger-than-life mogul who built an empire out of nothing, turning Bad Boy Records into a global brand, launching careers, and defining what success looked like in hip-hop. But as we're now finding out, there's always been more lurking beneath that shiny exterior. The allegations piling up against him are not just recent. These are accusations that span over decades, and now Diddy's past is finally catching up with him.
Replete with very, very serious and salacious allegations, including allegations that Combs had cameras throughout his home.
The news that Diddy has been placed on self-harm watch at the Metropolitan Detention Center has sent shockwaves across social media. Fans are reacting to what seems like the unraveling of a legend. Multiple sources have confirmed that this isn't just some casual precaution. His mental state is being watched closely, especially after the recent explosive developments surrounding his arrest. But how did Diddy, once one of the most beloved figures in music, end up here? It all began with a series of disturbing allegations, which led to his arrest on charges related to misconduct and illicit activities. And while Diddy has pleaded not guilty, the evidence stacking up against him paints a troubling picture.
And in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially P. Diddy was the Epstein of the rap industry.
His arrest took place in New York, where federal agents moved in, taking him into custody as part of an ongoing investigation into allegations that span over more than a decade. We're not just talking about one or two incidents. No, this case involves a treasure trove of evidence, including footage and testimonies that could very well seal his fate.
And I remember, I don't know if you know what his voice sounds like, but I felt like I was in the presence of his monster.
His lawyers, Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos, have been working overtime to get him out on bail, but so far no luck. Two separate judges have already shot down their attempts, with one judge even describing the conditions at the Brooklyn facility where Diddy is being held as not fit for pretrial detention. Diddy's team has been vocal about how the conditions in the Metropolitan Detention Center are absolutely horrific, something that was echoed by the former warden of the facility, who described it as cold, austere, and a place where grown men cry.
Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
But what's even more disturbing are the details emerging about his incarceration. Diddy has been placed in the special housing unit, which is typically reserved for the most vulnerable inmates, including those on self-harm watch. This isolation is a far cry from the luxurious lifestyle he once led, the multi-million-dollar homes, the private jets, the celebrity friends. Now, his life consists of a 6 a.m. wake-up call, and a strict schedule, with no access to the internet or the outside world. Reports suggest that his massive celebrity status and the charges against him have made him a prime target within the prison system. There's real fear that he could be attacked by other inmates who see him as a badge of honor if they could get to him.
That clearly there is a criminal investigation underway and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
Yet, amidst all the chaos of his current situation, perhaps the most heartbreaking part of this entire ordeal is Diddy's relationship with his children. It's been reported that Diddy is desperate to speak to his kids, Quincy, Justin, Christian Chance, twins Delilah and Jesse, and his youngest Love. Sources close to the family have revealed that Diddy is doing everything he can to stay strong, but his concern for his children is weighing heavily on him. For many fans, this has added an emotional layer to the story. No matter how famous he may be or how troubling the charges are, the thought of a father unable to see or communicate with his kids has struck a chord with many.
Do you believe Diddy is a dangerous person?
Yes.
But as the legal battles rage on, it's impossible not to draw parallels between Diddy's downfall and another infamous figure, Jeffrey Epstein. The comparisons are eerie. Like Epstein, Diddy built an empire that allowed him to control not just his business, but the people around him. Both men were revered in their respective industries, and for years, their darker deeds were seemingly covered up or ignored.
Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody, right? That's the rumors, yeah. I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that.
Now, just like Epstein, Diddy is facing the possibility of life behind bars. Federal prosecutors have uncovered what they're calling a treasure trove of evidence, much of it allegedly showing footage of some very incriminating behavior. It's no secret that Diddy has a reputation for being incredibly powerful in the industry. For years, many insiders have whispered about his explosive temper, his controlling nature, and the rumors of wild, extravagant parties that seem to push every boundary. But the details that are now coming to light suggest that there was something far more sinister going on. The federal case against him points to a pattern of behavior, not just one-off incidents. From what's been gathered, Diddy used his influence and power to manipulate and coerce people, leveraging his status to get what he wanted while keeping others in fear of retaliation if they dared to cross him.
Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in. Every bit of it.
And let's not forget the scandals that have followed him over the years. This isn't the first time Diddy has found himself in hot water. There's a long list of accusations and rumors that date back to the early 2000s. Some might remember the infamous 1999 nightclub shooting incident involving Diddy and his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, though he was acquitted of all charges in that case. It's incidents like this that have led many to believe that Diddy has been operating in a gray for years, using his money and connections to shield himself from real consequences.
He controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone.
The sheer amount of information coming out now is staggering. Federal prosecutors are digging deep, and they've already hinted that this case might be even more shocking than the one involving Keith Rainier, the guy behind the NXIVM scandal. And it's not just testimonies. There are videos, text messages, and all sorts of evidence that are painting a damning picture of Diddy's life behind his light. Some have gone so far as to suggest that he's as bad, if not worse, than Epstein. Fans have been vocal about their reactions to all of this. One YouTube commenter put it bluntly, saying his contract with Satan is up and the enemy is collecting. It's a dramatic take, for sure, but it speaks to the way many are viewing this fall from grace. Another fan wrote, Diddy should have been in jail 25 years ago. And honestly, a lot of people seem to agree. The sense that Diddy has been able to avoid justice for years is fueling outrage across social media. People are questioning how he managed to get away with so much for so long.
Now you got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands.
But it's not just the fans who are talking. Legal experts are weighing in too, and many of them believe that the case against Diddy is ironclad. Some are even saying that he could be facing decades behind bars, possibly life, depending on how the trial goes. The prosecutors are said to have built a case that's going to be nearly impossible to fight. The amount of evidence they've gathered, from videos to testimonies, is reportedly overwhelming. There's a real possibility that Diddy could end up spending the rest of his life in a prison cell. What's particularly chilling is the level of control Diddy allegedly exerted over the people in his life. Stories are coming out about how he would manipulate those around him, using his money and influence to keep people in line. Former associates are now starting to speak up, detailing incidents where they felt pressured or intimidated by Diddy. These aren't just random accusations. These are people who were part of his inner circle, people who were close enough to see how he operated.
Well, if he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right?
And then there's the issue of those infamous parties. For years, Diddy's parties were the stuff of legend. Celebrities, models, and industry insiders all wanted to be invited. But now, we're hearing that these weren't just your typical glamorous Hollywood events. According to reports, some of these gatherings were wild, chaotic affairs where boundaries were pushed, and many walked away with stories they didn't dare tell. We're hearing that there may even be recordings of these parties, and those recordings could play a significant role in the trial. As the legal proceedings continue, one thing is clear: this case is far from over. Diddy's lawyers are doing everything they can to fight these charges. But the road ahead looks incredibly tough. There's even speculation that more victims could come forward, adding to the already growing list of allegations. If that happens, Diddy's defense could be in even deeper trouble. At this point, Diddy's once untouchable status is crumbling. The man who once seemed to have it all, fame, fortune, and power, is now facing the very real possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison. Fans are watching closely as this story unfolds, and with each new development, it's becoming harder to separate the artist from the accusations.
Note, not only should he have apologized to Cassie in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied to.
But here's the thing: how did Diddy get away with all of this for so long? Was it simply the power of his celebrity that protected him? And now that the truth is finally coming out, what does this mean for the future of the music industry? Could this be the beginning of a massive shakeup in Hollywood, where more powerful figures are held accountable for their actions?
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
Let's be real, Diddy's story is far from unique in this world of fame and fortune. But what makes it different is the sheer scale of it. The fact that so many people were allegedly involved, the cover-ups, the manipulation, it's a chilling reminder that in the world of the rich and powerful, there's often a much darker side that the public rarely sees. In the end, only time will tell what's next for Diddy. Will he be able to mount a defense strong enough to clear his name, or will the evidence against him be too much to overcome? One thing's for sure, the world is watching, and this is one scandal that won't be going away anytime soon. So what do you think? Is Diddy finally facing the consequences of his actions, or is he being unfairly targeted? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates on this story and more celebrity news.